Yeah, so what we really see is that the airlines and the airports, they're kind of faced with the challenge of capacity. Airports have been pausing investments into infrastructure during the COVID years, and airlines are obviously facing some supply chain issues, even though the demand is really high. And these kind of technologies, they help airports and airlines getting real-time visibility on what's actually going on in their operation at this very moment. And that data also helps them to predict what's actually going to happen a few hours down the road, which obviously helps them to make proactive decisions about how to avoid certain unwanted situations.
So that technology that you're talking about, is it the big buzzword? Is it AI or is it simple old technology? What is it?
I would say it's a combination. I mean, airports especially traditionally have been infrastructure companies that try to solve problems by building additional infrastructure. But more and more, we're seeing that they're turning towards technology to face the discrepancy between supply and demand in terms of their infrastructure. And it's not just AI technologies, but they obviously do play a big role in the total mix of solutions that are being invested in.
You know, Christiaan, I do wonder, can this technology, can it actually help demystify one of the biggest mysteries of air travel, and that is how you board a plane correctly and how that, you know, is most efficient, how you deboard the plane most correctly, because apparently it does say a lot about our characters as well, and it slows down the airplane and the turnaround. Can it?
That's a really good question, and I believe it can. And there's a lot of different opinions on what's the best way to board an aircraft. But I think it's a classic example where typically these sort of opinions come from observations and best practices. Even they should be coming from big data analysis. So in order to have a data-driven outcome on the question on demystifying how to board an aircraft, we first need to gather the data on how is boarding actually happening. And AI technologies can actually help with automating the data capture, which means that the data quality is much better than manually collected data. And we're not just getting it for a few departures, but we're basically getting it for all departures. And once we have all this data collected, then we can analyze it and we can use AI technology to basically find the most optimal outcome for sure.
I think what my colleague is saying is she's fed up with people from Group 5 trying to jump into Group 2 and chance their arm. I think that's where we're going, Christiaan. Let me come back to another question as well. One of your customers is British Airways. Why, I'm just picking one random airline. Why are BA absolutely appalling in terms of cancellation, management of their fleet, management of their staff roads at the moment? It seems to me that what was the world's favourite airline, their words, not mine, it's just appalling every time I have to travel with them at the moment. Christiaan, what's gone wrong at these companies? Are they just not investing enough in services from companies such as yourself?
Well, I can't really speak to the specific case of BA, but what we do see is that airlines in general, they're facing challenges because the demand for air travel is super high. They're under a lot of pressure to basically deliver their product and with a limited number of resources. And that goes both to number of aircraft that they're having, but also staff shortages, which are not making things easier. So it's definitely a challenging situation across the block. And that's also where these airlines are investing in technology solutions to help them solve those issues.
But I don't know if that goes far enough, Christiaan. When I travel on one of the low-cost carriers, I don't always enjoy the experience, but I know more likely than not that I'm going to get on that plane a damn sight quicker, and they're going to get me up in the air a lot quicker, and they're going to have the turnaround a lot quicker, even when the plane's late. Are the national flag carriers actually just so obsessed with long haul that they're willing to actually let short haul go by the by somewhat?
I don't necessarily agree to that because, for these flag carriers, the short haul is a crucial component to the long haul product as well. As these short haul flights are feeding passengers into the long haul destinations, it's critical, within the hub and spoke system that the short haul product, works as good as it can, because otherwise it is inherently directly impacting the long haul product as well.